Today's story, the king of Udupi. 5000 years ago, during the battle of Kurukshetra, every ruler in the Bharatavarsha had to choose a side between Kauravas and Pandavas. They were compelled to fight each other. There were few exceptions like King Shalya, who was maternal uncle of Pandava princess Nakul and Sahadeva, was tricked into siding with Kauravas, who eventually ended up the charioteer for Karna. Lord Balarama decided to stay neutral and went on to a pilgrimage instead. There was only one king in Mahabharata who chose to remain neutral by participating in the war, the king of Udupi. Coming into the story, the king of Udupi said to Krishna, "Everyone is going to fight. Those who fight a battle have to eat. I would undertake the job of feeding the soldiers on both sides." Krishna said, "Fine. Someone has to cook and serve, so you do it." Finally, the war began. The war, which continued for 18 days, took lives of many soldiers. At the end of every day, the soldiers returned to the camp and ate together. During the meal, Shri Krishna would sit by the side of Yudhishthira. The Udupi king would personally serve both of them. As per popular records, 3.94 million soldiers and warriors had gathered for the war. Every day, the count of soldiers will get reduced. This will give rise to the problem that every day he could not cook meal for 3.94 million people, resulting in wastage of food. If he cooked for less people, few people will go hungry. But Udupi king would prepare just the right amount of food required for the survivors every day. He seemed to know how many soldiers would die each day. People were amazed how he managed to cook the exact amount of food because no one knew how many people would die on each day. One day, out of curiosity, the Pandavas went into the kitchen and asked the cooks the reason behind it. The cooks replied, "Each day our king fixes the amount of food to be prepared for feeding the exact number of surviving soldiers. Our king knows how many soldiers are going to die each day. So, deducting that number, he orders food to be prepared for the surviving soldiers." So hearing it, the Pandavas became more excited and they want to know the truth behind it. So they went to the king of Udupi and asked him, "How do you know exactly how many soldiers will die each day?" The Udupi king replied, "Every day in the night, Krishna likes to eat boiled peanuts. I peel them and keep them in a bowl. He eats just a few peanuts and after he is done, I count to see how many he has eaten. If he has eaten 10 peanuts, I know tomorrow 10,000 will die. So I cook tomorrow's food for 10,000 people less. Every day I count these peanuts and cook accordingly. So it turns out right. Shri Krishna will inform me by eating that many number of peanuts. In this way, I know how much food I must prepare, considering the number of soldiers who would die the next day." The Pandavas then went and prayed to Krishna, "Your will decides how many are supposed to die each day in the battle. Our fighting is only a show." Moral of the story. This incident tells us that everything happens by the arrangement of Lord. We are like puppets in the hands of the Lord. He is the puppet master and he controls us. Thank you.